Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're looking at Deuteronomy 21 and 22. We're looking at 8 things. First, it's going to tell us how the Israelites were to handle a mysterious murder. If they cannot find out who committed the murder, then they go to the nearest city. The elders of that city would offer a sacrifice of blood from a heifer to cover the blood of the slain person. 2, there are laws about men and wives. These might seem like some seemingly random laws, but we know exceptions start happening out there in the nation, so this is kind of some guidance. So if a man sees a conquered woman and wants to take her as his wife, he's got to do X, Y, and Z. But it can't be of certain nations, the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites. Okay, those were named in a couple of chapters ago, and they cannot take those. That man, woman, child destroyed, nothing that breathes. But in the future, if they conquer another nation, and that's true, then here's what you do. Number 3, rebellious children that parents can't control, that don't listen, can't handle them. Perhaps he's a glutton and a drunkard, and we're talking about really bad, then they can be stoned to death. And it kind of sounds like this is kind of an older child. You're not going to destroy your 2-year-old for being rebellious. It doesn't sound like that, but certainly a nation that takes seriously respecting your parents as one of the 10 Commandments. Number 4, you've got to take initiative to help others. It says if you see someone's garment or a cattle or something that belongs to someone else, you're to take it to that person. It's inconvenient for you. It's extra work for you. Tough. Just do it. That's what you're supposed to do. If you don't know whose it is, you hold on to it and until that person comes to claim it, even if that's extra work for you. Number 5, something America needs to hear. Women should not dress like men, and men should not dress like women. This gender confusion thing we're having going on is flying right in the face of what God said. It's labeled here as an abomination. Those are the strongest words that you see throughout this whole law. Abomination is a twisting of purpose, and God says, hey, this is how it's going to be. And when we're going the opposite complete way, that's an abomination. So they got ahead of that and said, that's not going to happen. There are some little laws about looking out for others, like cover a hole that you dig or build a guardrail on the top of the roof. Hey, put in these little protections so that something doesn't happen to someone else. We want you to be responsible for what you do. Number 7, in essence, some of these laws are about keeping pure and holy. Why would you need to wear a garment that is 100% one type of material? It's to show that you're set apart, that you're different, that you're holy, that you're completely headed towards God. Now, of course, we have some freedom as Christians to not follow this law in some aspects. Not all of them. Some of them continue throughout the whole scripture, even into the New Testament. So you want to be careful about what you do and what you don't do. But these laws like one type of fabric or keep your cattle one breed, those kind of things point to holiness, to point to single-mindedness towards what God wants. And then we also see some sexual purity laws. We had whole chapters on that before, but here's some reminders. Here's what you do if someone is, denying the virginity of their wife and spreading lies. Here's what you do if you catch someone in adultery. How serious a betrothed relationship is. It's the same as being married, even though you're not together physically. And what if somebody, rape, it's in here. So let's check it out. Chapter 21. If one be found slain in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it, lying in a field, and it not be known who hath slain him, Then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next to unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take a heifer, which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in a yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer into the rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for the Lord thy God hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of the Lord. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. And all the elders of the city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be merciful, Lord, unto thy people Israel, whom thou hast redeemed. And lay not innocent blood to thy people Israel's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. So shall you put away the guilt of innocent blood among you, when thou shalt do what is right in the sight of the Lord. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God has delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast desire unto her, and thou wouldst have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head, and pare her nails, and she shall put on the raiment of her captivity from off of her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and mother a full month. After that thou shalt go into her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her for money, thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn was hers that is hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath. For he is the beginning of his strength, the right of the firstborn is his. So again, you got to do the right thing here, people. If a man have a stubborn, rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and that, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, bring him out of the elders of the city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, Our son is stubborn and rebellious, and he will not obey our voice. He's a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he shall die. So thou shalt put evil away from you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man hath committed a sin worthy of death, and he shall be put to death, thou shalt hang him on a tree. His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day, for he who is hanged is accursed of God. Kind of interesting here. That's a little bit of foreshadowing also. Jesus was buried. He was not hung all night on the cross. He was buried first. And this is so the land may not be defiled, which the Lord giveth thee for an inheritance. Chapter 22. When thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them, thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And if thy brother be nigh unto thee, or if it be known him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it. So, either take it to him if you know who it is. If you don't know who it is, hold on to it till he comes looking for it. And thou shalt restore it to him again. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and all the things lost of thy brothers, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from him. Thou shalt surely lift him up, help him to lift him up. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination to the Lord thy God. You don't want to be an abomination, just saying. If the bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way, or in the tree, or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam is sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young. So Don't take the mom and the kids. But thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, and take the young to thee. And it may be well with thee, that thou mayest prolong thy ways. Thou buildest a new house, thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou not bring blood upon thy house, if any man fall from thence. They used to be flat roofs, and so, people might spend some time up there. So, again, some sort of guardrail or something to keep people from just falling. Thou shalt sow thy vineyard, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds. Let the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of the vineyard be defiled. Thou shalt not plow with an ox or an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as a woolen and linen together. Thou shalt make the fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, where thou covers thyself. Again, have you got a field? Just one kind of fruit in the field. If you got a garment, just one kind of wool or linen or cotton, just one. If any man take a wife and go into her and hate her and give occasions of speech against her and bring an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came into her, I found her not a maid, then shall the father of the damsel and the mother take forth and bring the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the other, I gave my daughter unto this man, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found thy daughter not a maid. Yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name of the Virgin of Israel. So, they had a cloth, and that would prove that she was a virgin on the wedding night. And then the parents would keep it just in this such an occasion. And if the man, he would be fined 100 shekels of silver, and that'd be given to the parents. Plus, and she shall be his wife, he may not put her away from him all his days. So once he says that, he's locked into that marriage thing. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity not be found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So you shall put evil away from Israel. So there's adultery right there. If a damsel that is a virgin, betrothed to a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out to the gate of the city, and you shall stone them that stone. The damsel, because she cried not, she participated, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. Thou shalt put away evil from among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, so it is in this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, but there was none to save her. So they're out there in the country, nobody's around, there's rape, and he dies for it. That's justice. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay with her, and lie with her, and lay hold of her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all her days. So the man seduces this virgin. She doesn't belong to anybody. He's got to pay 50 shekels to the father, and then that's his wife for the rest of his days. Can't divorce her. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Again, that's all just the same there. Sexual purity. Okay. Well, that's the end of that chapter, and we're plunging right ahead. We've got lots of laws and lots of things to remember here that Moses is teaching the Israelites before they go into Israel and before he dies. Well, thanks for joining us. Catch you next time.